And we're live. What company has forever lost your business and why?
Dick's Sporting Goods.
Oh, this is a good question. I gotta think about this.
Dick's Sporting Goods? Why, Kyle?
What was that?
I went there to spend like a lot of money one day. We needed lots of stuff.
I didn't get the name of the company.
Dick's Sporting Goods.
Which one?
Dick's Sporting Goods. I went there to spend a lot of money one day. I had a list of things that needed buying, and it was like $3,000 worth of stuff. It was a bunch of stuff. I needed like lots of shit. Among it was like an air hockey table and a ping pong table. There was lots of stuff. I was buying big things. And I couldn't find anybody to fucking help me. And I was just like, hey, I need some assistance. I want to buy that weight machine and I want to buy that bench press. And over in the other section, there's 2 or 3 table games that I'm going to be buying too. I was like, someone needs some help loading things. And so I'm trying to like let her know I'm here to buy $3 or $4 grand worth of shit. It's real heavy. I'm going to need like 2 guys. Like I'm going to need somebody with a scanner gun and a hand truck. And like nothing ever came of it. And I stood there for like 25 minutes and I like had a bit of a meltdown. Said,
Describe the meltdown.
I was like, this is absurd. She's like, well, they'll be here any minute. And I'm just like, where have they been? She said, they're in the back. I was like, I'm leaving. I was like, I'm here to buy. I was here to buy like this and this and this and this. I was like, I'm not buying any of it here. I'll never come here again. No. And she's like, well, they'll be right out. I'm like, but I'm leaving. I'm leaving.
They can come out, but I'm not going to be here. That's what I'm saying.
I think I even tweeted at Dick's Sporting Goods, and I was like, fuck you. I'll never. I haven't been back, but I did go somewhere else and bought all. I did buy all that shit. I had a bunch of stuff that it really upset me. I was like, I'm here to do some business, and I can't get them to do their end of it, which is pretty much just take my money and give me their things.
I've got 2. One, of course, is Dr. Mann, the dentist in Cary, North Carolina, that just ran too late. Consistently ran late. I've told the story before. I worked with him. I was like, hey, when are you guys on schedule? Schedule me for then. Oh, right after lunch. Got fired. I fired him. It's fucking run your shit better. But the other one is Gunner Optics, the sunglasses. These fuckers hurt my feelings. Like,
What'd they do?
So I was at Call of Duty XP, and I was like a competitor at the event, the first one. And at the time, one of the ways to qualify was to like do really well in these online events. They'd run them for like 24 hours, and someone got like the most kills in TDM or something. And then he reached out to me, T-Mart, and another guy, maybe Fearcrads, but I'm not sure, and said, hey, let's be a team. We'll go together and whatever. So I'm there, and I'm picking up like my competitor gear, which includes like like shirt with my like a high performance fabric shirt that all the pro gamers wear, and with my name on it, and like some Gunner Optics and some other swag and like a bag. And I'm standing in line, and they help, like, the line is slow. Yeah, they're going through helping one guy and the next guy and the next guy. There's like 20 people in front of me, and it takes everyone like 2 minutes, you know. So I'm just waiting and waiting, and when they get to me, they help the guy behind me, and it's like, the fuck. And then they help the guy behind him. And then they help the guy, and I tap, tap, tap on the shoulder, like, hey, it seems like you skipped me. And they're like, no, this line is just for competitors. And I'm like, I am a competitor. Like, check my name, it's on the list. And I get this like, sure it is. Yeah, right. Like I'm faking or something. And it's like, you fucking ageist, you know, like you fucking skipped over me because I'm like, I don't know, 38 at the time. And, you know, they're just like not having it. And I eventually like, look at it, like, check my name, it's on the thing. And then they like begrudgingly, there was no like, oh, I'm so sorry. You know, I thought you were here with someone, like someone's dad.
Like, I guess you meet the minimum requirements. So
yeah.
Give them this $8 sunglasses that we paid $2 for. Yeah, those guys are just
they like
cum bucket, scummy, skeezy cocksuckers.
They reluctantly gave me my stuff, and they were just like total dicks about it. So years later, I was in an event with, I think either Envy or Optic was holding it. And they did like I don't know, Envy versus Optic, like at the Optic House or something like that. And they invited me along. Not because I'm a pro gamer, obviously, but because, you know, like, at the time, if you put my name on a Call of Duty event, it would draw a few more eyeballs than maybe it would have otherwise. And No, and I go there and I play with the guys and it's all fun. But then the gunner people asked me to sign a release, right? And I didn't even know it was a gunner event or anything. And they're like, hey, can you sign this release so that we can use your likeness and all this shit, in our promotional videos? And I was like, no. Right? And they're like, oh, you have to. Like, we've been filming you all day. Like, it's going to be really hard to, like, edit you out of, like, every scene all day long.
Like these are wide shots of, like, 8 guys, and Woody's one of them.
Uh-huh.
Well, you didn't seem to have a problem editing me out of the line earlier.
Yeah, dude, exactly. So, like, and they're like, yeah. And I'm like, yeah. Well, let me tell you a story. Once upon a time, I was at a Call of Duty XP event and just like fucking laid it all out there like I just did. They skipped over me. Next guy, next guy, next guy. And I'm not quite over it. And they're like, oh, could you just sign? No. And, and I didn't sign, and they had to edit me out of all their shit. And it wasn't like they just blurred my face or anything. They just didn't use any scenes that I was in. And if I had an opportunity to do it again, I'd fuck them again. Because fuck Gunner. They're pieces of shit. They treat me badly. And fuck Gunner.
Yeah, they've treated other people that I like poorly. I don't like Gunner. They always kissed. See, this is something I really hate. This goes back to why I don't like some other people that I won't mention. I hate it when people treat my friends badly and are nice to me. And I see that disparity, and I know that there's no reason for it to exist other than their own greed and what they're trying to extract from me. It just shows they just don't value this person over here at all. They just value what I can maybe do for them and whatever it may be. And I hate that so much. I immediately hate you with a burning passion of hate, and I want you to do poorly at all things and get in a car accident and get injured bad. I want you to not be able to get erections and your wife to leave you or something. I hate that. I hate it. It's
I'm sorry. When I talk, it silenced you, but that was some good shit, Kyle. Are gunner optics still around?
The one that I won't go to is Macaroni Grill, because I got hair in my food there, but it was 2 different kinds of hair. At the same time, not a clear pube and then a clear head hair. No, there was a black hair. You might be like, oh, how do you know that wasn't your hair? Because my hair is dark brown. I know the difference between my hair held up dark brown and black hair. There was a black hair that was maybe a couple inches long, and then there was a longer blonde hair. Oh. And so there was a blonde hair and a black hair in the same dish. There's probably none of it in the actual food because it was just like a burger. It was just so many years ago.
Poured over my cottage pie. What the fuck was happening back there?
Yeah, it was disgusting. But nothing ever came of it really. I just was I ate part of the food and I was like, yeah, I found hair on my plate, and they were like, oh my god, I'm sorry. Do you want me to bring you another one? And I was like, no, this is the last time I'll come here, because one hair I could be like, okay, maybe there's just some Mexican in the back didn't put their hairnet on, so there's a straight black hair there or something. But no, it was a blonde and a black hair, so there was a lot of recklessness and clearly someone not putting the food where it should be, because there shouldn't be 2 people with their heads directly over my plate at any time.
Meanwhile, you missed the poor cook who just didn't wear their hairnet that day, and they got a blonde mohawk or something like that, and just that's all that happened. He just got he got 2-toned hair. Yeah, I wouldn't like either. A little smorgasbord of different kinds of hairs in my food. Like I said, they shot an interracial porno over your salad or whatever it may be. I don't want that food.
A lot of people consider hair to be a really disgusting thing to put in a food.
It's a sign of the carelessness in general. See, it's not the hair itself. I'll pluck a hair off your head and lick it. I mean, what could be on there? How much of anything? You could dip a hair in an actual pile of shit. And how much actual shit would be on the hair? You could lick that shit right off that hair. That's not enough shit to hurt you, especially if it's your own shit. Yeah. So it's not the hair. It's that this food once existed in a circumstance in which hairs could just fall right in. Because that means anything could fall right in. If there's hairs falling off your head, then that means there's boogers falling in. There's little eye boogers, those little things you wipe away in the morning and flick away into just somewhere into your room. Those might be in your food. Maybe some earwax. God knows what could be in there. He doesn't have a hairnet on. He's not safeguarding your food. It's moving around, and there's 2 different kinds of hair. That means that 2 different dirty people handle your food outside the rare 2-toned chef circumstance.
But you're right. It's not necessarily the hair itself, but rather what the hair is indicative of like, okay, does this mean that like my chicken patty or whatever fucking dish it is, that this slid off the plate onto like the metal surface you're cooking on and got some hair, but you just thought, fuck it, I put it back on the plate. Like, I don't think anybody was standing over my plate like scratching feverishly on their hair. It just shows like, you know, if you were careful, this wouldn't have happened. Certainly not twice from 2 different people. So
I had that waitress that time who smelled like shit. I didn't, but that didn't really turn me against Ruby Tuesdays. I've been back to Ruby Tuesdays since. They've got a great garden bar, but she smelled like feces.
Ugh. I like Ruby Tuesday. That's disappointing. It's like a less good TGI Friday.
I don't like Ruby Tuesdays. I find most of their food to be like greasy based. You know,
I find it all to be frozen dinners that they're heating up, just like most restaurants of that class, but they have a nice salad bar.
Okay. Yeah, I put Ruby Tuesday like, I don't know, above fast food, but definitely below TGI Fridays, which I legitimately think TGI Fridays has some of their food's really good. Their burgers are really good. I've never had their ribs.
Guys. Like if I'm in that category that's above fast food but below like an Outback Steakhouse or a Red Lobster, then I'm gonna go to Five Guys because it's gonna be really good fast food. Because to me that's better than like sit down at a restaurant and pretend like it's good food, but it's really microwave dinners like it's Applebee's or something.
You mentioning Red Lobster, another perfect example of a place I will no longer patronize because it was years ago the last time I went to Red Lobster, and their cheddar biscuits are fantastic. That's the redeeming quality there. They're good.
You can buy the mix.
I order, we've had the mix before, and
I've got it upstairs.
Home. But that's so funny. We both have those. But that's redeemable. That's good. That's the whole reason to go there. Red Lobster, the last time I went, I must have been still in high school. I ordered crab legs, snow crab legs, because that's what I order every time I go to a seafood place that has it, because it's my fucking favorite. And usually when you get a good snow crab, like, you know, about the size of the leg, when you break it, there's maybe a little space on either side where the meat is, and it doesn't quite fill it up all the way, that whole cavity, maybe.
Yeah.
Most of it, like when you pull it out, it's near the size of where you pulled it from. I swear to fucking God, there was a cheap chef in the back room at this Red Lobster taking a syringe, like putting it into the crab and like pulling the meat out so we could like redistribute it into other crabs to save money, because I've never opened so many perfect like cracks, perfect clean cracks, only to like look in both sides and be like, huh, well, I guess someone beat me to it. Jesus. Like, and then crack another one open. Fucking nothing. Like little paltry, dry scraps. Like, you need your crab to be moist, not dry. It was the saddest crab I've ever eaten. So I'm glad you mentioned that. So Red Robin's great. Red Lobster would take my top spot of a restaurant I will no longer go to because their crab is pathetic.
Red Lobster has booze, which is nice sometimes. They have those biscuits, which are really good. And they have the Admiral's Feast. Now, you order the Admiral's Feast when you just don't give a fuck anymore, okay? You want a lot of fried food. As a matter of fact, you want all the fried food that Red Lobster has. You want them to bring it to bear immediately. It comes in a platter. This plate is this fucking big. It's twice as big as my head. All right, it's huge, and it's oval, and it's hot, and it's full of every sort of like sea creature that the captain who's running this Red Lobster can lay his hands on. There's shrimp and little clams and oysters and all kinds of fried stuff in there. That's what I get. It's an enormous amount of food. There's like 4 different kinds of fish and shrimp, and it's
all
good stuff.
Fried though. So like there's like a loaf of bread worth of carbs on that seafood platter because it's just covered in fried and
then I eat the bread.
Then you have the bread.